There's really no one-size-fits-all principle for constructing a championship caliber lineup, but there are a couple of dynamics that history tells us to avoid, and at the top of that list is a backcourt with two small guards. Pairing two undersized perimeter operators with each other has been a recipe for underachievement since basketball was invented, and the logic behind it tracks. It's difficult to make an impact as a quick creator without the ball, and two overlapping playstyles built on creativity and speed usually ends with one player dancing at the top of the key as the other watches from the corner. It's stagnant, predictable, and plagued by proven limitations. But thanks to the overlooked all-star in Cleveland, the Cavaliers are challenging every precedent we mistakenly interpreted as law. Darius Garland is the blueprint for an archetype in the process of being redefined, the modern combo guard. Like every other high-usage point guard in the league, Darius Garland's bread and butter is the pick and roll. His approach to the two-man game isn't revolutionary. It doesn't leverage otherworldly athleticism or one-of-a-kind long-range accuracy. It's a modern, well-rounded take on the high pick and roll, and it's clinically effective. For the most part, Garland's pick and roll mastery is contingent on the two pillars of contemporary point guard play: playmaking and shooting. The moment he curls off the pick, the ball-handling wizard presents an immediate threat, whether he's buying time beyond the arc or driving to the rim. Darius Garland is a knockdown shooter. Quick trigger mid-range jumpers compose long-range pull-ups, and floaters that drift just over the hands of backpedaling big men. Vanderbilt's pride and joy has a deep enough bag for any situation, and defenses know it. They wouldn't dare go under or switch their big man on the perimeter just to be embarrassed, so they're forced into the same half solution everyone's been trying: drop coverage. A big trying to defend two things at once, doing his best to force Garland to hesitate for a moment before making a decision. Unfortunately, the Cavs point guard deconstructs these coverages within a half second before opting for a quick lob or a sudden stop. The blueprint of creating space and leveraging distance with some new age augmentations. On its own, this would be a devastating weapon that forces opposing scouts to scour film for hours, but it's not the only thing Garland offers. It's just his most visible tool. Shooters in today's game are typically divided into two categories. You have your catch and shoot demons, and then your pull-up specialists, off-ball players who have grown comfortable waiting with their shooting pockets ready, and on-ball attackers who build rhythm with size-ups. They may look similar, but those two are vastly different skills that need to be built up in different ways, and Garland has managed to fine-tune both. Coming off of picks or step-backs, he's as lethal as it gets. A sniper with a quick trigger and an automatic targeting system who manages to set his feet and square his shoulders every time. When he shifts to an off-ball role, his percentages only increase. He stays ready with his hands, low in his base, and locks onto the rim in a split second before bearing open looks like 2013 Steve Novak. With both of these in his arsenal, Cleveland doesn't need to substitute Garland with a more specialized player when they want to lean on Donovan Mitchell. Instead, they can just slide their all-star point guard to the wing, where he'll be just as effective as he was at the top of the key. That versatility allows Kenny Atkinson to get as creative as he wants with the lineups, rather than being forced to send out Dean Wade and Sam Merrill every time a situation calls for some Mitchell rim runs. The handle, the shooting, and the poise are all listed on the scouting report, highlighted on the preparation sheet handed out to anyone tasked with defending DG. The consensus when facing a player like this is generally to press up, take away their space, speed them up, and hope that you can force them into making a bad decision. That playbook doesn't work against Garland. He doesn't speed up when he gets downhill, not mentally at least. As things unfold, bigs rotate and wings shift. He stays aware of his surroundings while continuing continuing to pressure the rim. All of those weapons stay in his back pocket as he forces a reaction and then he capitalizes. Sometimes that means pulling up, other times it means a kick out to a counter, and with those two bigs roaming down low, occasionally it's a perfectly placed alley-oop. Regardless of what option he leans on in that specific moment, the problem stays the same. Garland will always have more answers than the defense has questions, meaning all he has to do is register the specific coverage staring back at him. If this were someone who was easily confused, it would result in a high-stakes guessing game, obnoxious but manageable. But as we've already covered, he's not daunted by complex rotations or advanced schemes. Coaches can get as unorthodox as they want. Without the right personnel, it won't matter, and there aren't many names that could hang with Garland, let alone fluster him. When all of the traits we've laid out coalesce, they form into something relatively new in the history of basketball. The game-changing evolution we outlined in the intro, a true offensive combo guard. When Cleveland needs to, they can run their entire offense through Garland. He has enough awareness to function as one of the best high-volume playmakers in the league, with enough skill and quickness to score in an all-NBA clip. On top of that, he has all the elements necessary to be a reactive and dangerous off-ball player. Catch and shoot proficiency, the patience to watch a rush closeout pass him by, and the intelligence to toss a lob over the extended rim protector rather than challenging him at the rim. Still, none of this means anything if his ego gets in the way. These are athletes that have worked their whole lives to get here and have only accomplished what they have by repeatedly betting on themselves. With that backcourt, it can be difficult to willingly take a back seat when you believe your ability to lead a team, especially when the numbers support your case. Thankfully for Cleveland, Garland brings a maturity beyond his years to the locker room. When the Cavs need him to run the show, he steps to the occasion without hesitation, confidently operating the offense like it's his franchise. Then when they need him to take a back seat, he adjusts. He gets his shooting pocket ready, keeps his feet moving, and stays engaged even when they're asking him to act as a decoy. That isn't common, and it's the only way a lineup like this functions. That duality allows Cleveland to weaponize both of their backcourt weapons at the same time, while maintaining the multiplicity that makes their attack so lethal. A conductor and a first chair neatly packaged within one player, ready to deliver a composition or an award-winning solo on any given night. This last season, the Cavs had the #1 offensive rating in the league. They were a half-court machine who embodied the word execution, and there's no doubt that a massive portion of this credit belongs to their nationally underappreciated floor general. Cleveland's already potent offense attack routinely looked more cohesive and composed with Garland on the floor. The Cavs were plus 4.1 points better per 100 possessions, with their understated point guard in the lineup, and they shot 2.6% better. Those numbers seem small, but in a league where games are routinely decided by a single run, they're not. We know we're starting to sound like a broken record, but that kind of stability is not typically associated with undersized backcourts. Small shot creators are supposed to cannibalize possessions and open the front court up to constant stress when they've played extended minutes together. Instead, Cleveland bent the rule. Mitchell's power and Garland's flexibility turned a supposed death sentence into the foundation of the league's best half-court attack. On paper, this roster is littered with logistical holes: a double big front court, a wing rotation that offers little in the way of playmaking or scoring, and a backcourt with two overlapping skill sets. This is not a recipe for a generational offense, but Darius Garland's extreme flexibility glosses over all of the issues. His dual threat shooting allows Allen and Mobley to stay on the floor when Mobley gets cold. His playmaking creates angles Mitchell alone can't. His humility stability keeps both stars engaged. A scalable star who finds a way to fit in where he's needed. A max contract with a role player's mindset. Without him, the Cavs are an awkward collection of parts. With him, they're a coherent system. We understand the way the NBA news cycle works. Absurd stat lines and visually striking plays will always steal the spotlight. Garland might appear on your timeline every once in a while after some absurd wraparound or sham god variation. For the most part, the 45-point nights from hyper-talented prospects on losing teams will garner more attention. And if there's anything we fundamentally stand against, it's that. Darius Garland shouldn't face partial anonymity for adapting his game in order to help his team win. Being a reliable teammate isn't boring, and leaning on your co-stars isn't a flaw. It's a modern necessity, a mandate for any high-profile player looking to immortalize their playing careers with a banner. Garland was supposed to be sacrificed to the timeline, a casualty of Donovan Mitchell's arrival in Cleveland, and instead, the man with the tightest handle in the Eastern Conference is authoring an original take on a position that has been played for generations. Don't let highlight culture distract you. Playing good team basketball has always been the goal, and few people do that better than the point guard of the Cleveland Cavaliers.